a record-breaking catch. Is it gone yet? We'll see you soon. Bye-bye.
Welcome to WatchMojo UK, and today we're counting down our picks for the most inappropriate moments courtesy of newsreaders.
Before we begin, we publish new content every day, so be sure to subscribe to our channel and ring the bell to get notified about our latest videos.
Number 10. Broken equipment. There was no way Peter Levy was going to get through this one with a straight face. Paul Hudson had to present the weather later than expected due to a technical malfunction. However, when everything was fixed, Peter led into this segment, explaining to the audience what happened.
Sure, at lunchtime, his equipment wasn't working. Is it repaired?
Picking up on the hilarious phrasing, Paul answered with this.
Well, I think you'll find my 10-week daughter proves there's nothing wrong with my equipment, Peter.
It was a hilarious bit of banter, but with how people are with Ofcom these days, we wouldn't be surprised if they got the odd complaint or two.
I seriously need danger money for doing this programme.
Number 9. Handing in notice. Alan Tower's newsreading for this station had people's jaws on the floor. That's because, amidst his rising frustrations with the BBC, he decided to vent directly to the viewing public.
When I joined the corporation, it was led by giants. Now I'm afraid it's led by pygmies in grey suits wearing blindfolds. How sad.
This occurred during BBC Midlands Today in 1997, as the newsreader veteran was about to close out the show. Tower's live resignation caught the show's team completely off guard and left them unsurprisingly incensed. It was quite emphatic, but maybe keeping it private would have been the more professional thing to do. Number 8. Mind the hump. It might honestly be time to retire the paper segment in news programmes. Everything's online these days, and if you pull out a paper on live telly, you might end up pulling off a naughty blunder like this. On BBC Breakfast, John Kay and Sally Nugent were sitting down discussing the hot topics. That's when Sally pulled out a paper to bring attention to a story about a camel living in someone's yard.
Looking for a new house, maybe? If you're looking for a new house on Rightmove, this is in the Sun, I think, this morning.
But in doing so, viewers were focusing on a very different kind of humps, as she accidentally showed an image of a woman in lingerie. John was the first to notice it, and Sally was left red-faced.
I don't think anybody's talking about the back garden at the
Really?
No.
I didn't see what happened.
There's something on the back of the page. Don't worry, nobody noticed. Carry on.
Number 7. Less enthusiastic. Simon McCoy made quite the reputation for himself during his time on BBC News. He often made it very clear when he wasn't interested in the story he was presenting, and it's a wonder he never got into bigger trouble for it.
Dog owners and their pets in California have hit the waves in the second annual World Dog Surfing Championships. Here are the pictures.
Many will look towards his coverage of the surfing dogs, which went so viral it even ended up on American telly.
The competitor's main challenge is to stay afloat on the board.
Then there's the time a royal baby was announced, and McCoy really amped up his sarcasm.
I'm not sure how much news this really is, but anyway, it's April, so clear your diaries, get the time booked off, because that's what I'm doing.
We take it that there was a lot of royalists not happy with his presentation here. Number 6. Joined by a beautiful lady. Derek Thompson must think back to this moment every now and then and cringe. On the show, At the Races, they were reporting the latest news, and then it came time for an interview. We have no idea what possessed him to say it, but Derek threw over to his correspondent, Robert Cooper, with this bizarre line.
Bob, just confirming the ground is now good to say, oh, you've been joined by a beautiful lady.
Though we'll let you hear it again for Cooper's hilariously blunt reaction to that line.
Oh, you've been joined by a beautiful lady.
No, it's a man, actually, Derek.
This has very much become the legacy of the two Sky Sports presenters, and we can watch it again and again.
Remind me of your name, because I completely forgot. Matthew Jones. Of course it's Matthew Jones. He's a man.
Number 5. Slip of the tongue. It was a normal roundtable discussion on BBC News, until this disaster hit. The topic of conversation was the next Conservative leader, and when it was Victoria Derbyshire's turn to speak, she attempted to say the name of the Chancellor of the Exchequer at the time, Jeremy Hunt. However, that's not what came out of her mouth.
The man that you're backing, Jeremy... I'm so sorry, Jeremy Hunt. I've never said that before in my life.
She apologised profusely, but that really has to be the worst word a newsreader has used on live telly. Shockingly, this was not the only time someone made this exact same mistake, however, as on ITV News, Nina Hussain was introducing Jeremy to discuss an issue.
But yeah, we're waiting to hear from Jeremy Hunt and indeed some of the other people who've already gone in.
Mr. Hunt really must get it a lot. Okay, just one more for good measure.
Who's been keeping her eyes peeled on the door at number 10 all afternoon, and Beth, looks like Jeremy is going to be coming out with that NHS pin on his jacket.
Number 4, get it together.
Did you get your there? Oh, that looks wrong.
Weatherman Ben Rich had his hands full when this mishap occurred on BBC News.
I normally have to deal with one of him, two of you. I mean, this is terrifying.
Simon McCoy and Kate Silverton were having issues with stage positionings on camera, with Kate blocking the shot of Ben. In an attempt to get around it, they disrupted Ben's story numerous times.
You're a bit discombobulated, aren't you?
Can we get a shot of these two?
We haven't done this for a while, have we? I quite like it. Can I stay?
News,
I feel safer here.
He just couldn't keep it together as the two thought the best move was to share a seat and get all snug. An ever-increasingly frustrated Ben watched on as the two traded jokes and caused chaos.
What about a forecast then?
Thank you. That's what we'll do now.
Number 3, rude gesture. This blunder occurred when Maryam Moshiri was presenting on Wednesday, December the 6th, 2023. Whoever was running the switcher during this broadcast clearly didn't see that Moshiri was messing around, because when they cut to her camera, everyone was treated to a rather rude gesture.
Live from London, this is BBC News.
When the full footage was eventually leaked, we saw that she was doing a funny little countdown and ended it with that particular finger for number 1. Maryam Moshiri was forced to apologise by the BBC, stating it was a private joke with the team and she wasn't flipping the bird at viewers, or even a person really. Number 2, nasty opinions. Many say impartiality should be the number 1 priority of any news outlet, no matter how small the situation may seem to them. That was certainly not the case with Jane Secker on Sky News, whose dismissal of this story felt much more vindictive than Simon McCoy's seen earlier on this list.
Now, Tetris has long been touted as a video game that just can't be beaten, because it just goes on and on.
A young man named Willis Gibson did the unthinkable. After 30 years of people taking a crack at it, he finally beat the NES version of Tetris. What's more, he was only 13 years old when he did so. What was Jane Secker's expert opinion on this achievement? Well, the following.
As a mother, I would just say step away from the screen, go outside, get some fresh air. Beating Tetris is not a life goal.
She got a ton of backlash for her behaviour and was called out for belittling the young man's work.
Jackie, would your advice and my advice be to that child to step away from the video console?
Have you ever played Tetris?
I have, yeah.
Number 1, for all to see. This one left our jaws on the floor, but it wasn't the fault of the actual newsreader this time around. When Sophie Rayworth was delivering the stories back in 2019, something caught the attention of viewers at home. Many don't really consider what's going on in the office behind the main stage, and maybe that's why this one worker at the BBC thought they would be safe watching a raunchy sex scene at their work desk.
Cricket now, and England have won the 4th and final test against South Africa at Old Trafford. They won by 177 runs, meaning they win the series 3-1.
It's one thing to be caught slacking off at work, another to be watching something like this while on the clock, and just otherworldly to be caught doing it on national television. How do they sleep at night?
Patrick Geary reports from Old Trafford.
Which of these did you see live? Have you seen anything we missed? Let us know in the comments below.
From me now for the final time, goodbye.
Do you agree with our picks? Check out this other recent clip from WatchMojo UK and be sure to subscribe and ring the bell to be notified about our latest videos.